Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Janine Harry, a communication scientist by profession, here to give you communication tips and self awareness strategies through conversation. So, thank you so much for being here with me today. And today's video will fall under my communications tips playlist, in which I'll be discussing something very interesting: how to master the art of small talk. I am already laughing, guys, because oh my gosh, small talk has gotten such a bad rep since forever. Because let's admit it, like we all hate small talk. It feels like torture, right? Like, first of all, small talk takes place amongst strangers or people that you hardly know. So not only don't you know the person, but now you need to have like a full on conversation with this person. And it's like, oh my word, what do I even say to you? But here's the thing like, we need to have conversations with strangers because think about it in this way: everybody who you know personally was once a stranger to you. And that's a fact. Your most closest friend was once a stranger. The person who you are probably the most comfortable with today was once a stranger. Your husband or your wife, your girlfriend was once a stranger. So, as much as we think that talking to strangers is taboo, we sort of like need to talk to strangers because talking to strangers lead to big things, right? But still, having small talk can feel like torture. And you will realize that if you have lifelong friends, you may have met those friends when you were a teenager, when you were a kid. And here's the thing, like kids and teenagers have a really easy time having small talk and making friends because they don't come with all the baggage that we as adults come with. Okay, like have you ever been to a party and just observed how kids can meet each other for the first time, and in less than a minute they are playing together on the grass, and you would swear that these kids have known each other since forever? Okay, so kids have a really easy time, making small talk and getting to know each other. So most of your lifelong friendships that you currently have may have been quite easy because you met those people when you were quite young, in your teenage years, in your early 20s, in your childhood years, etc. But small talk in adulthood can feel and be quite daunting because as adults, we obviously come with a lot of baggage. We are conscious about how we look, we're conscious about what we are saying. Um, we are just simply conscious about every single thing. So, having small talk and meeting strangers as adults can be quite a scary experience. And that is why I think it is so important to have this conversation, how to master the art of small talk. So I've outlined a little bit of, should I say, the criteria of what makes small talk just that, small talk. So as I said, small talk takes place amongst strangers or people that just, don't really know each other that well. You may have met somebody once or twice, but in essence, that person is still sort of like a stranger to you. So small talk usually happens amongst people who don't know each other personally. And it also happens in contexts where you are forced to talk to somebody. And this happens when you are invited as a partner to attend a party or a staff function. So when somebody invites you as a partner along with them to some sort of event, you will obviously not know anybody at the event, but because you are still physically, at the particular place, you are then forced to have some sort of conversation with the people around you. Also, the topics of conversation within small talk is quite light-hearted and it's fun, it can be playful, and it's done verbally face to face, of course. Now, I stand in no space of perfection. I think that I suck when it comes to small talk. And my goal, one of my goals for 2025, is to master the art of small talk because I am so interested in meeting so much more new people this year. And that is why I am really focusing and trying to master the art of how to be an effective communicator when it comes to having small talk with strangers. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, so first of all, when it comes to small talk, you need to break the ice. Okay, so break the ice is a playful phrase that we use regarding any sort of activity that can be done, which allows strangers to get comfortable with each other. For the scope of this particular video, breaking the ice would refer to small talk. So, breaking the ice and having small talk is the same thing. Now, you need to ask yourself, okay, because everybody has that unique magic about them. You need to ask yourself, what is your magic? What is that thing that you do well, which allows you to break the ice? Okay, so we all have that thing that we just do well that allow us to get along with strangers. And if you don't have anything that you think you do well, then hey, take some tips from this video. So, the thing that I do really well is I'm quite animated when I speak to a stranger. And when I'm animated, it sounds as though I know this person or I've known this person for quite a long time. And by me being animated in conversation, it actually allows the person with whom I am conversating with to feel completely comfortable. And I can literally pick up on the energy of people who I am being animated with. I can immediately feel when they have become comfortable. Okay. So, when being animated, you need to pay attention to how you are saying something. Okay. Emphasis on the word how, because it's not so much about what you say, but how you say it. And you also need to use expressive words. So I want you to note the difference between these two phrases, okay? So listen to the tone of my voice, listen to the ways in which I express myself, listen to how I am saying what I'm saying, okay? So note the difference between the weather is lovely today versus, oh my gosh, I am just loving this weather. I'll say that again. Note the difference between the weather is lovely today versus, oh my gosh, I am just loving this weather. Do you see how when I say, oh my gosh, I am just loving this weather, I am bringing forth a sort of personality, a friendly, fun, bubbly personality? And by me saying, oh my gosh, I'm just loving this weather, I am using sort of like informal, fun, playful language. I'm not sounding too formal when I am saying what I'm saying. So, when I am being animated and expressive, as mentioned, it comes across as though I'm comfortable with you. It comes across as though I've known you for a long time. And when you are animated when speaking and when you are also less formal in conversation, you definitely allow other people to become comfortable because they're picking up on your energy, they're picking up on your high vibes. Okay. So this is what I do really well. I'm animated when I speak. That is my magic. So yes, tip number one, be animated when you are speaking. Pay attention to how you're saying something and also use expressive words. Okay. Tip number two, introduce yourself. Now, this icebreaker, the icebreaker of introducing yourself, is only useful if you are someone who is an extrovert who loves it when people know who you are. I am personally not an extrovert, so I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to introduce myself to somebody. But if you are an extrovert, then use this as your magic. Go up to people and introduce yourself. Hi, my name is. Hi, I'd like to introduce myself. Okay. When you are introducing yourself, you are being assertive. You are taking the lead. You are not becoming influenced by the energy in the room. You are instead influencing the energy. So there's a bit of magic in being an extrovert because extroverts have the ability to influence the energy in the room, to have people take the lead. Okay. So introduce yourself. And then tip number three, give a compliment. Now, guys, we need to be really careful about this whole thing of giving compliments. Okay. I love compliments and I love giving compliments. I love giving them. I love receiving them. I love compliments. I think it's really great when you can tell somebody, you look good today. I love your dress. Or when you're getting that compliment, because you just never know what your compliment has the power to do. Your compliment has the power to shift someone's entire day. But you also need to be really genuine about your compliments. I once witnessed somebody who was so needy for friendships and conversation that she would literally give fake compliments to people. Okay, so for example, somebody wouldn't even be looking that great, but she would be like, "Oh my word, you look so lovely today." And it's like people can immediately pick up when you're being fake because the response that she got was like, "Oh, well, I'm not actually wearing anything fancy, but thank you for the compliment." So, guys, if you really can't find anything to compliment someone on, you may want to hold back on the compliments. Okay, so make sure that your compliments come from a genuine space. Make sure that when you are complimenting someone, you are being truthful in your compliments. And as I said, if you don't have anything to compliment someone on, you do not need to compliment someone. Okay, so compliments can sound something like, "Hey, I like your dress, I like your outfit, I like your shoes, I like your nails, I like your hair." It's about finding something visually attractive about somebody to compliment that person on, okay? But as I said, be careful about this one because we're all guilty. I mean, I've been guilty of doing this myself, giving a fake compliment here and there. But I think that as effective communicators, we also want to make sure that our conversations are authentic and we're building authentic relationships with people. So be careful about giving compliments. Make sure that it comes from a genuine space. Okay. So these are just a few ways in which we can break the ice and master the art of small talk. There are so many other ways in which we can master the art of small talk, but I'm just giving you a bit of a foundational sort of understanding of how you can do that. Now, there are also things to avoid when you are making small talk, okay? So these are the things you should avoid. Avoid asking personal questions. Okay. Avoid asking things such as, "Are you married? When are you going to have kids? Why do you look the way you do?" Okay. Avoid asking personal questions and also avoid saying anything personal about yourself. I am actually guilty of oversharing or saying things I shouldn't say because small talk, for the most part, still scares me up till today. And most often, when we do not know how to master the art of small talk, we go straight into speaking about personal things and oversharing. And here's the thing, like some people love it if you are open and you overshare. Like some people definitely love it because some people also hate the whole small talk thing and they would just love to go into the in depth things immediately. But we need to be cautious about oversharing and saying personal things and asking personal questions. You also need to avoid making inappropriate jokes or comments. Okay, guys, we are living in a diverse society, and this means that people are different to you in terms of your gender, your race, your religion, your ethnicity, your culture, your background, and your worldviews. Okay, so what might be a joke to you might come across as highly inappropriate and sensitive to another person. So, you want to practice sensitivity when you are engaged in any type of conversation because inappropriate jokes or comments is a barrier to any form of effective communication. Okay. And this is also where we need to be mindful about who we give compliments to. For example, I think it's really crazy, and this is just my subjective opinion. I think it is really crazy for men to compliment women on the way they look or what they're wearing, unless, here's the disclaimer, like, unless you are interested in that woman, from a romantic perspective, you can throw that hint out there and be like, hey, I like your dress. You look beautiful today, because that is a really healthy form of flirting. But if you're not interested in somebody romantically, you may want to hold back on complimenting a woman on her physical appearance. Okay, so take into consideration your gender, the gendered interaction when you are saying something or when you are giving compliments. Okay, and I can go on and on and on about this. Okay, last but not least, you wanna be cautious about the proximity between yourself and other people. So do not stand too close to people, do not hug people, do not partake in any forms of inappropriate touching behavior. Make sure that you are keeping a safe distance in relation to somebody else because that contributes to the next person's level of comfortability. Okay. And as I said, we can unpack this topic in so much more detail. But as mentioned in this particular video, I just wanted to give you a bit of a foundational understanding of small talk and the ways in which we can master it. Okay. And as always, I will always leave you with a quote of wisdom. And today's quote comes from Susan Rowan, in which she says, small talk is the biggest talk we do. And I absolutely love this quote. You know why? Because small talk is indeed the biggest talk that we do. Small talk can lead to big things in life. It is that small talk that will lead to you finding your husband, finding your wife, finding your best friend. Okay, the greatest relationships start off with small talk. So don't be scared to go out there, meet strangers, and to engage in small talk. It is okay. It might be scary, but let's go forth on our journeys of just embracing this whole idea of meeting people and engaging in the beauty and art of small talk. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. And if you'd like to keep in contact and stay in touch, then please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can read my blog articles at janineharry90.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at Infinia Communications. And if you'd like to know what resources I am offering, email me at janineharry90@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Till next time, much love.